Three European countries have come out and said they're going to declare support for the country of Palestine that isn't a country. You need to see this history of where that country idea came from. You're going to be shocked. Well, just this week, three European countries announced that they're recognizing the country of Palestine, a country that has never existed, a country that doesn't exist now, ever in world history. In fact, the name for the Arabs of the area of Israel were only named Palestinians in 1964 because of a plan hatched between, get this, the KGB and Yasser Arafat. And all of a sudden, the Arabs started calling themselves Palestinian, even though they're Arabs from the same area. And coincidentally, the leader and founder of the Palestinian movement, Yasser Arafat, was, get this, Egyptian by birth and by nationality. So he called himself Palestinian, and he's about as Palestinian as Will Johnson or Barry Nussbaum. I want to play a short video that shows you the history of where this movement came from. Prepare to be shocked. This is history everybody should know.
There's one fact about Israel-Palestine that almost no one knows about, and it actually explains the whole situation, and it's all right here in this photograph.
That man with Hitler is Amin al-Husseini, a Palestinian leader that they don't want you to know about.
He was the Mufti of Jerusalem, which is the Islamic leader and one of the founding fathers of the Palestinian movement.
In 1941, he fled to Iraq to escape the British. He was wanted for leading massacres against the Jews. That was before the modern state of Israel was even around.
In Iraq, he worked with the Nazis to promote anti-Jewish propaganda, and it led to one of the most savage massacres ever, the Farhud. It was 2 days of extreme savagery against the Jews.
Yeah, my father was actually there.
Yeah, right.
He was a young boy living in Baghdad at the time, and it was pure terror.
Yeah, it was kind of like October 7th.
In 1941, al-Husseini was given refuge in Germany by the Nazis. He met with Hitler, Himmler, and Eichmann to plan the ethnic cleansing of the Jews from both Europe and the Middle East. He personally ran an SS division in the Balkans to exterminate Jews.
He then moved to Egypt, where he mentored Yasser Arafat, who was actually his nephew. Arafat's real surname is al-Husseini. He also trained Mahmoud Abbas, the current Palestinian president. He became a leader in the Muslim Brotherhood, which is the global jihadist group which created Hamas.
And that is the secret origin of the Palestinian movement.
It's a combination of jihadism and Nazism. So they were never going to accept Jewish statehood, no more than Hitler would have. It was never about land. It was about a pathological hatred of Jews.
The conflict we see today started with Hitler and al-Husseini, and all the anti-Israel mania we see around the world is just a continuation of their evil.
The fight against the Nazis is not over. It continues with the jihadists, and they must be defeated.
And that's for the sake of anyone who loves their freedom.
That's why every single time there's a peace initiative, Jimmy Carter, Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, promoting peace between the Palestinians, which are Arabs who have created a nationality out of the air,
Yep.
and the Israelis, they say no every single time because their movement is not about statehood. Their movement is about exterminating the Jews. And that's why Yasser Arafat never made peace. And his protege, Mahmoud Abbas, wrote his thesis on the fact that the Holocaust never happened.
Oh my
These
goodness.
are, I mean, literally. And they studied under the KGB. These are the continuation of the Mufti from the 40s, whose job it was, at least his mission, was to exterminate the Jews. And he was very close with Hitler. And he personally led an SS extermination squad in the Balkans during the war and wanted to export it to what was then called the British Mandate of Palestine, but he never got the chance to do it. Or there might not have ever been a state of Israel, because had he been successful and the Nazis had not been distracted, they might have come to the Holy Land and done what they did in Europe, in Israel. That's where the Palestinian movement comes from.
Yeah.
People need to know that history. And if you don't know history and you think, oh, they're just nice people and we should support them and give them money, that's why they live in these monster $100 million palaces. And most of the Palestinian Arabs, they don't get any of that aid.
No,
it's not about that. It's not about that, and it never has been.
You know what I realized, Barry? It's like they love misery. You know, just bear with me for a second. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm just observing, looking at this, what's happening. It's almost like they want suffering. They want to go through turmoil because they have this whole belief that if we go through all of this chaos, it will be better for us in paradise. It'd be better for us on the other end of it. So even though you have Israel bringing in supplies, bringing in food, bringing in humanitarian work, we want to remove that element, not allow it to happen, because we need people to suffer. We need people to die. We need people to look like they're not getting any help, so they can be glorified on the other end. Am I off mark here? Because this is what I'm seeing that they're doing.
It's an interesting observation. I would say, from looking at from the outside looking in, that they don't care about their people. They care about power and money. Think about this. All the leaders of Hamas are billionaires, not millionaires.
Yeah.
Billionaires with private jets and estates, and they live in Qatar and travel around the world like royalty because of all the billions they've stolen from the European donations and the American donations and the UN donations. They don't care about their people. It's all about power and extermination of the Jews. And that's why they say, we will do October 7th, not once, not twice, not 10 times. We'll do it 1,000 times until we've killed them all. Yeah. They publicly say that.
And not just in Israel.
Oh, right. One of the reasons why they were so happy that the state of Israel got founded was all the Jews were in one place. It's easier to kill them all. And they actually say things like that.
Yeah.
How do you make peace with people that say, hey, I'm going to kill you, Will Johnson. I'm coming to your house to kill all of the Johnsons.
Yeah. And then they want to put you in jail if you want to defend yourself. And then if they kill part of your family member and you say, well, you know what? I have to retaliate. Then they want to put you in jail for retaliating. I forget what the committee is called. They got this world committee that's supposed to put a warrant out for Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, it's the ICC, the International Criminal Court. They've issued orders that any country that is a party to the treaty, it's 145 countries, I believe, around the world. If Bibi Netanyahu or Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, set foot in those countries, they will be arrested. Germany announced it this morning. They will arrest Netanyahu if he comes to Germany for negotiations.
That's wild. So
this is why Trump pulled out of the ICC.
Yeah.
And defunded him. And he said, I want nothing to do with this kangaroo court. It's insanity.
It really is.
Right. He was right.
Yeah, it really is. So I was watching the video on them, and they were saying that Benjamin Netanyahu, before October 7th, they said, everything was fine. And then October 7th happened. And now they say they put out arrest warrants for Hamas because of October 7th. Not for all the other times that they were shooting rockets into Israel, not all the other time that they were killing innocent Jewish people, not all those other, not the Hamas leaders in Qatar and Yemen, not the Hamas leaders there, not the Iranian leaders that's funding this war against Israel. No arrest for them. Only I think they listed off 2 people that are part of Hamas that they put on their list. And then they said because of October 8th is the reason why Benjamin Netanyahu is now on the list of being arrested. So how come George Bush is not on there? How come Obama is not on there? How come Biden is not on there because of Afghanistan?
How about some master criminals like Kim Jong-un, who has killed millions? How about Bashar al-Assad, who's killed millions? How about Saddam Hussein when he was alive, who killed millions? How about the leaders in Iran who have imprisoned hundreds of thousands and maybe caused the death of up to 1 million people. None of those people have arrest warrants out for them.
None of them. None of them. Only the one. I mean, George W. Bush, based on their reasoning for going after Benjamin Netanyahu, their reasoning, George W. Bush should be on that list as well, because 9/11 took place. So 9/12, because he went on a microphone and said that he was going to retaliate, he should have a warrant out for his arrest. It's the same thing.
Oh, well, it's actually much worse because he destroyed an entire country.
Millions of people died. Millions.
No question. Millions.
Millions of people died.
Yep. I agree. Totally agree.